What's up, guys? My name is Gabe, and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the Signing Day Special. With me today, I have a very special guest, one of my best friends on the entire planet, Tim Prangley. He is going to be joining me after the intro. So USC obviously did finish the day with the #1 class in the country. We signed all 35 of our guys, and this class, for lack of a better word, is absolutely insane. So before we do get into it, if you guys are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate you guys being here. Now let's get into it. All right, so it is my pleasure. For the first time here on the Trojan Blade channel, I am bringing on an outside voice. And of course, it is the aforementioned Tim Prangley. So Tim, how are you doing?
Oh, what a pleasure and an honor, Gabe, to be your first guest. I just can't believe it.
Yeah, first and probably last, because this is probably going to be an absolute shit show. So taking a look at this class, what I want to do today is kind of just go through it and go position by position, maybe break down some of the key guys. We don't have time to get into everyone, but let's start at the top here and let's start with the quarterback position. Let's talk about Jonas Williams. What do you think about him?
Just first thing I think of just production. What he's done at the high school level, just amazing, setting state records, I believe, for Illinois. Is that correct? And just a touchdown machine.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's going to be a perfect fit in this Lincoln Riley system. Very accurate. He's athletic enough. He's not going to be a Caleb Williams. I would compare his athleticism, I'd say slightly less than Jaden Mayava. I think that's fair. He's going to be a stand in the pocket, deliver the ball on time. Perfect fit. You see why Lincoln Riley did go after him. Size-wise, 6'1.5", 215. Not too big, not too small. Just a pretty good fit across the board. We will get to the running backs in a second, but I know everyone wants to talk about the wideout position. So we have to start here with Caden Dixon-Wyatt from Mater Dei. What a pickup. What a flip. 6'2", 180. Not the fastest guy on the planet, but just a technically sound receiver. Great hands, great routes, great blocking. He's the whole package. So, Tim, what do you think about him?
Yeah, all-around guy. You know, he's blocking, running after the catch. Just great hands. I mean, when I think of him, I just think of him he's that guy who's going to make those catches on third down that you absolutely need. Just a huge pickup out of nowhere. I mean, there's been rumblings forever about, maybe even Chris Henry Jr., but This one here is just USC flexing. You're getting elite kids now from Mater Dei. You grab Bowman and you grab Caden Dixon-Wyatt, two major pieces to their offense, and it's just going to make a great. I tweeted out. You're adding elite pieces, elite players to an elite offense, and USC was already one of the top offenses. I cannot wait to see what this offense is going to bring with these receivers that they have.
And especially with those two guys you mentioned, Bowman and KDW. I mean, you can let me know your thoughts on this, but I see both of them as starters next year. I mean, the wide receiver room looks to be completely depleted of production. The only guy you're bringing back who's really shown anything is Tanook Hines. He's going to have a role. We know that. And then with Mark Bowman, I mean, I don't know if anyone else has heard it, but Jake Butt today on the Big Ten Network was talking about him, and he says he gets the chills when he watches him play. He reminds him of Brock Bowers, and I see that too. It's an easy comparison. Being from California, just that style of tight end, they look and dress the same way, but he really is that level of talent. And when you're paying a tight end that amount of money, he's going to start. So with Late McCree leaving, with Jacoby and Lemon leaving, I think Caden Dixon-Wyatt and Mark Bowman are going to be huge pieces on this Trojan offense next year.
Yeah, I mean, there are some pieces. I mean, I really am probably a little higher on Tanook Hines than you are. I really am excited to see. Obviously, let's just assume, we know Makai's gone, and obviously, most likely you have Jacoby Lane leaving as well. I think Tanook's going to come in there, and I can see Caden Dixon-Wyatt coming in also with Tanook Hines and having a young duo. That I think Prince Strong, you guys, I don't know why. I'm just feeling he's going to have a big role as well next year. So, but KDW, that's just I didn't see that. I thought it was just all talk. We talk a lot about recruiting, but landing him and flexing the way USC is doing right now. I mean, let's face it. Everyone said, forget the late pickups they had. Everyone was talking the entire year, Gabe, how, there's no way they're hanging on to this class. Oh, sure, it's great. It's here in the summertime. Let's wait till after the season and see if these guys really sign with USC. USC not only closed on all those guys, but they're picking up guys and they're just ripping them right out of Ohio State's heart. And that's just a great thing to see.
No, and you're so right. And while we can go through all these players individually and the position groups, I mean, can we put into context what just happened? USC just landed the #1 class in the country. The last time a non-SEC team got the #1 class, it was Miami in 2008. I was 10 years old the last time that this happened. That's an insane thing to put into perspective. Ohio State hasn't done it. Oregon hasn't done it. USC just did it. And I forget who said it, but it was a great point. This is a mid 2000 style class. There's so much talent stacked. You don't see this happen very often anymore. I mean, I'm scrolling through our class right now. At the top, you have Kenai Pepe. You scroll down a while, and you have a guy like Sean Alston, who's a 4-star running back. There's so much talent in this class. It's ridiculous. And I just can't say enough about what Chad Bowden's done with Lincoln Riley, with the staff. Everybody just nailed it out of the park.
And it's crazy, Gabe. We've been talking about receivers for a while now. We haven't said names like Boobie Feaster, and Trent Mosley and Tron Baker, who, again, I think is going to be a steal in this class. That guy is so smooth in and out of his breaks. And, a couple of the events that I went to, I didn't see him drop a ball. So, I mean, that's how good this receiving group is. And I haven't even hit everybody. But to go this far into it and not even bring up Boobie Feaster's name, or again, guys, Trent Mosley, he's the real deal, Gabe.
Yeah, no kidding. If you've watched any Santa Margarita this year, that kid pops. He really does. And you have Weaver, and the whiteout depth in this class is just extraordinary. And like we talked about, a lot of question marks in the wide receiving room next year. It's not just the true freshmen who can make a big jump and really contribute. Just like you said, it's the guys who are returning, like Tanuk Hines, Prince Strawn. Are one of the young guys going to step up, like a Mo Ison, like a Corey Sims? But let's move to the trenches, because this offensive line class is pretty extraordinary. It's headlined by Kenai Pepe. This is the total package: 6'7", 320, number one tackle in the country. Elite feet, elite hands, elite mind, elite athleticism, strength, violence. He has everything you're looking for in a star left tackle. So, Tim, what are your thoughts on him?
Kenai Pepe is your prototypical NFL linebacker, tackle coming into USC off the hoof. And watching him play, like you said, through all these guys, the one thing I've noticed about a lot of these guys is they all have violent hands, Gabe. They're just, these guys are maulers. I mean, Isun Tafa, we'll get to him in a minute, but Kenai Pepe has that frame, and he's just going to put more on that frame. And he's got a frame to put a really good, healthy weight on, but he comes in looking like an NFL tackle already. And I can't imagine what 2 to 3 years of the conditioning and the training table are going to do for this guy. I think he has the opportunity to play early, and USC needs it. I mean, USC has had issues with depth. We saw the shuffle around, and at times when we had Elijah Page go down, we did suffer at that left tackle position. So USC is stacking this really young recruiting class. There's not much we can really do with some of these guys. They got to put some weight on and some time, probably lose some weight. But a guy like Kenai Pepe, and Chase Dennis, I could probably see starting right away.
Yeah, and you brought up a really good point. With this class, if you're playing offensive line under Coach Hansen, you can't get a foot in the door if you're not a lunatic playing offensive line. You look at a guy like Brett Koleje, oh my God, is that kid a psycho? One of the most violent, insane, and awesome highlight reels you'll see is from Breck. I mean, his name's Breck. The guy's going to be a lunatic playing in the state of Florida, originally from the state of Utah, I believe. But yeah, the kid's a mauler. Just like Tim said, every single offensive lineman in this class, whether you're talking about Vlad Diakonov, I think I said that right. I'm not Russian. I apologize.
Well, that's 3 guys, Gabe, that could be starting as freshmen. I mean, maybe not out of the gate, but I think you could rely on either one of all those 3 some way at some point during the season.
Yeah, no, they could for sure play a role. I mean, a guy like Tafa from Corner Canyon over there in Utah, number 5 interior offensive lineman in the country per 24/7. Again, what a violent offensive lineman he is. He's looking to decapitate his opponents every single snap. And a guy I'm super high on is Chase Dennis, 6'7", 291 from San Diego. He's going to be playing tackle. He needs to mature a little bit physically. He needs to get, just some time in the program, in the system. But one thing you can't teach with an offensive lineman, especially tackle, is those feet. And man, he has some special feet already. Love what we've seen from him. I think he's going to play a big role, probably 2 or 3 years. That's probably how long it'll take, like sort of a Tobias Raymond route. But before we move to defense, we have to talk about the news that just broke a few minutes ago. There was a lot of panic amongst USC fans about Mark Bowman. Why hasn't he signed yet? Who's coming in to steal him? Is it Oregon? Is it LSU? Everyone just needs to settle down. Just like I said on Twitter, nothing to see here, nothing to worry about. Mark Bowman has signed with your USC Trojans. So, Tim, tell us about Mark.
Yeah, Mark Bowman is just your prototype what everything you want. USC has had such great tight ends over the years and receiving tight ends going back even to like the Smith years and the J Rob 2 years. He's a guy you could almost feature with all these receivers we talked about, Gabe. You could almost see him featuring in this offense. 6'4", 6'5". Not sure exactly how big he is, but imagine what Riley did with Mark Andrews back in the day with Oklahoma. Imagine what we saw from the tight ends this year featuring in this offense. A guy like Mark Bowman's going to be a mismatch for any linebacker, that's on him. He's just going to crush it. So I'm really excited to see how much he's going to be used. And I'll tell you, they don't go as hard for a guy like this. You don't line up an NIL deal that's speculated at as big as the one he's receiving unless Lincoln Riley believes he might be a corner piece of his offense for the next 3 years.
That's the thing, is he's not only going to have a big role and maybe even a bigger role than we saw from Lake and Walker this year. I mean, there's a world where he's the offense, like not where we only throw to him, but where we build from him out, where he's the number one option most of the time, especially if you have a young quarterback next year like a Hassan Longstreet. What a nice security blanket to have Mark Bowman and Caden Dixon-Wyatt on third down like you talked about earlier. This is setting up to be an even more dangerous offense next year. We're not going to be as reliant on one guy like we were with a Mekhi Lemon. And Mekhi is insane. I mean, he single-handedly won us some games, in my opinion. So it's a big loss. But when you're bringing in guys of this caliber, hard to not be just extremely excited. But moving over to the defensive side, let's start at the back end. I want to talk about the kid I'm most excited about in this entire class. And am I a little biased because he's from Cleveland? Yes. But it's Albert Hill, the 5'10", 175-pound corner. This kid is a press man machine, super athletic, elite ball skills as he was a wide receiver as well in high school. I'm so excited that he's ours, but I'm even more excited that he's not an Ohio State Buckeye. This is a kid that was born to be a Buckeye. They thought they had him very early on in high school, started that recruitment very early. So addition by subtraction in a sense, but he's going to be a hell of a player. But Tim, I did want to ask you about a guy you're very familiar with in Joshua Holland from St. John Bosco. What do you think about him?
Yeah, rangy, long. I saw him high point a ball and just rip it out of the air. And I can't remember which game it was at Bosco this year. Got a nose for the ball. Really athletic kid. Can put some weight on, but I think you and I were just talking about earlier. I could see him at safety if he puts the weight on. Absolutely. And just a physical. He's one of those guys that Lynn likes. Those big, tall cornerbacks. So he's going to be a piece. You can't, right? You can't coach up a height or length. You either have it or you don't. And this kid has it for sure.
All right. So Tim, you have a show to be on in about 23 minutes. So I am going to let you go. I really appreciate your time. But before you go, are there any final thoughts you have about this class? Any guys you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm super excited, and we do it every year because the one piece that USC's been missing. We kind of maybe overhyped the fact that we were getting in the portal, but inside defensive line, the big guys up front, the guys going to keep us, at the point of attack, cause havoc, push that offensive line, make that quarterback uncomfortable, allow the outside to come in or linebackers to eat. And getting the group of guys they have there with obviously Tamohini Tupui, Winfield, Katawanga, and Brooks. I mean, these guys, all of them are massive human beings coming in the door. And then having a guy like Luke Wafel and Braden Jones on the outside, this defensive line coming off. And when you add it to what they had last year, they added the freshman last year with Stewart and Boucard. Boucard, I'm telling you guys, keep watching him. Don't forget about last year's class. It's going to be massive next year. But I can see instant starters from the names I just named. Like we always say, we get ahead of ourselves. These guys got to get in. They're going to be going up against fifth-year seniors on the offensive line. So they may have that size, but they may not have that strength yet. But I still think that the athleticism and a word we keep saying in this show and the violence that these guys play with are going to come out on the field. So I'm excited about the trenches. We're always going to get the guys on the outside, Gabe. You're going to get all the elite receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. They're always going to come, especially with Lincoln Riley as your head coach. But Chad Boda is putting together and building from the line. Something my dad has said. It's really just a football axiom. You win on the inside. You control the inside. You can try to control the line of scrimmage, and you're going to win a lot of games. And that's where USC's been losing. And man, the last 2 years, what they've done bringing in young high school talent that is next level playmakers is something that's going to allow USC to take the next level.
Very well said. As always, Tim, you are the absolute best. Thank you so much for coming on. It was cool having a guest on, and I will continue the show without you because you are going to be over on LAFB. And what show are you doing?
We're just doing the call-in show. It's just going to be a regular Conquest call-in show, but this time it's going to be talking, obviously, because today it's going to be talking some there was a little bit, I think, injected dramatics to this. I don't know if they wanted to have some drama, but this class signed exactly as they said it was, and the theme's going to be is just USC's next level now. USC's not playing around. They're battling, and last day, imagine who thought we'd go in and we'd flip a wide receiver from Ohio State. I mean, obviously, there's some coaching issues that led to that, but still, the next spot was USC, and that's what USC could do is keep the guys home, keep the elite players from modern day and Bosco to USC, and then go around the country and get the best. So we'll do a call-in show, and hopefully we'll hear from some of you guys.
All right. Even if his show is over, make sure you guys go and check him out at LAFB. He's also on Twitter at Tim_Prangley. Tim, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thanks, Gabe.
Really appreciate Tim coming on. He's one of the best guys in the business. Make sure you guys are following him if you aren't already. But yeah, getting back to this class and staying on the defensive side, let's talk about Sean Scott, 6'3", 230 edge from modern day. Now, to me, when I look at his skill set, this guy is just a pure edge. He's exactly that. He's a stand-up defensive end, not with his hand in the dirt. He's a guy that can drop back into coverage. So versatile, as is everyone in this class. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it in my voice, but as I'm going through these guys, it's just stud after stud, blue chipper after blue chipper. It's absolutely insane, the talent that Chad Bowden has amassed in this class. Jamion Winfield is another one of those massive interior defensive linemen, 6'4", 310, number 3 defensive lineman in the entire country from the state of Texas. That dude's a space eater. He's athletic too. One of the problems that I think we had this year on the interior of the defensive line, there were certain rotations we had where the athleticism and the pop just wasn't there. Jamion Winfield is a guy that brings that pop, that athleticism, just the pure strength, not going to be blasted back. That's a hell of a pickup. And then you move to linebacker. Talanoa Ely is a guy that can play Mike or Will. I would like to see him at the Mike position personally. Number 5 linebacker in the country, number 1 player from the state of Hawaii. Good God, is this kid a beast? See ball, get ball. He can cover, he can blitz, he can do it all from the linebacker spot. And then you have a guy like Tamuhini Tapui from modern day, aka Tom Tom, 6'3", 320. You guys know all about him. I mean, it's just guy after guy, dude after dude in this class. Samote Katawanga from Rancho Santa Margarita, another stud defensive lineman. He's a guy that they could build up into being an interior guy, or he could play end. For me, I really like his upside at defensive end from a pass rush standpoint. I don't know if he's going to be ready to go next year, but he's a guy that in year 2, 3 is going to be a big-time contributor for this defense. We already talked about Elbert Hill. Can we talk about the pickup of Luke Wafel? That whole story is insane. The guy was committed to Ohio State, silently behind the scenes, if you heard Steve Wilfong tell the story. And Chad Bowden does what Chad Bowden does, and he closed the deal and got it done. I mean, guys, Luke Wafel is as elite a prospect as there is in high school football. This is a day one guy. He's physically ready. He has that mentality. Just like everybody in this class, he's very violent. He's very aggressive. He plays the game the right way. Braden Jones from Chicago is another guy with a ton of athletic upside. Don't think he's going to play this year, but man, oh man, that kid could be special. There's so many guys that I want to talk about. I'm just running out of time. Madden Reardon from Sierra Canyon. He could be a very good player at the cornerback position. Jaden Crowder from Santa Margarita is a guy with a ton of upside. One guy to really circle and highlight is Taylor Johnson, 3-star linebacker from Cajon and San Bernardino. That kid's a heat-seeking missile. He plays the game in a very violent way. I know I keep saying that word, but it's just so true with all these guys. If you want a guy that at the very minimum is going to be an ace special teamer, that's Taylor Johnson. And if you hit on him, he could just be a Tasmanian devil at the linebacker spot. And then back to the offensive side, I mean, Sean Alston from Cleveland. When you watch him, you can't help but see J.K. Dobbins, small frame, but very thick, 5'9", 205. Luck Weaver, the wide receiver from Notre Dame and Sherman Oaks, 6'3", 205. Plays the game in a very Kyle Fordy type of way. Booby Feaster, what an athlete. Screens, swings, reverses, get the ball in his hand, special things are going to happen. But he can also run routes. He's not a one-trick pony. He's not a gadget guy. I guess all in all, the big point of this video is just round of applause for Chad Bowden, for Lincoln Riley, for Max Steinecker, for Dre Brown, for Skylar Fan, for Zaire Turner, and the main man, Weston Zernichel. Shout out to all of you guys for running an outstanding operation, for closing on this class, for recruiting the way USC should recruit. If you guys have watched this channel, you would know that I was not that satisfied with the play on the field this season. I was happy with the record. I was happy with the wins, but I thought there was so much more meat on the bone for what this team could have accomplished. But there's not one negative thing you can say about this recruiting staff, about the management of this football team. Chad Bowden is the best GM in the country. I don't care what any other school has done. Chad coming in and his first full recruiting class, getting the #1 class in the country. No, that dude's different. This program feels different right now. And if we can just get the coaching down and we can stay healthy, the schedule's super tough next year, but I think we have a chance to do something special. If you've heard the messaging from the program, we're not done yet. The transfer portal is going to play a big role in this as well. There's a ton to be excited about. And man, oh man, what a recruiting class. Now, if I didn't talk about your favorite player at length in this video, do not worry. We have an entire offseason to talk about this class and all these incoming freshmen, and I plan on doing just that. If any of the new signees or parents are watching, welcome to the Trojan family. Welcome to the USC YouTube community if you're new here as well. And very, very excited to be a part of this journey with you all. But for me and for Tim, really appreciate all of you guys being here. Hell of a class, man. You guys are all awesome. And as always, take care and fight on.